Have you ever sat at your desk, prepared to work, and then asked yourself, why? Why do it now when you can do it later? It can probably wait, right? I think we've all heard of procrastination. Chances are you probably do it often. Have you ever asked, why do people procrastinate? Well, there are a few reasons. One, they don't think the assignment is important and wait until the last moment to work on it. Two, they believe the assignment to be too big and avoid until the last minute to theoretically minimize the time they spend on the stress. Three, they strive for perfection. Since perfection is almost impossible, they fear starting it since chances are they'll fail to meet up to their expectations. And four, they generally have something else important to do. Each option has its own struggles and challenges. Although the fourth option isn't really fixable in our situation, the first three are mindsets, and those can change. The change can come from two main areas, internally and externally. We will focus on externally. How do we adapt the environment to best cater to a proactive mindset? Hey, I'm Chow Yulin, a sophomore at Discovery High School. I, like many of you out there, am a chronic procrastinator. With almost every project, I wait until the last few hours before actually working on it. Over the years, I've come up with many excuses and reasons. This text can't wait. The video is way too good to miss. I'll do it later. I like the thrill of waiting till the last minute. And so on. Even so, I recognize the stress that these actions have placed on me and everyone else who's procrastinating. Always constantly checking my schedule, workloads, and deadlines. Although it is adrenaline, turning an assignment at the last minute holds a lot of risk. What if the Wi-Fi fails? What if I see a mistake, but can't change it because the deadline is in 1 minute? Those feelings are horrible. I've looked around at some of my friends' life. Although some do procrastinate, there are others that deal with it a lot better than me. I asked them, how do you keep motivated? Although there are a few mental tricks and tips that they told me, there are also external factors that they talked about. Almost all people I talked with who don't procrastinate as much exist in a tidier and simplistic environment. By that, I don't mean their furniture and house is modern and simplistic, but the work itself. Everything is planned out, clear, concise, and easy to access. This is the point of view I took while faced with the question of how to improve our online school experience. Since COVID-19, we changed to virtual learning. Zoom classes replaced in-person class time, and on-demand time replaced time set out for independent work. Zoom classes generally last 10 to 20 minutes, although it does vary from class to class, and on-demand time is just the time after the Zoom call ends but before the next period starts. Zoom classes consist of mostly instructional time and time for questions and concern. On-demand time is set for working on the assignments. Although there are positives on taking classes online, such as no need for transitional periods and staying in the comfort of our homes and pajamas, there are also issues with the way it currently is. Zoom classes often last longer than necessary, although this has been getting better as students have been pointing it out. This is why Zoom classes are more concise and instructional videos are posted with assignments, which I believe to be more effective and beneficial. Being able to go back in case I missed something or double speed it to perform an audio scan of the instructions. One thing I believe needs to be improved upon is how we use breakout rooms. I believe they can be beneficial if done right and with the right circumstances, but we haven't found the golden formula yet. Although I myself don't know the perfect way to hold a breakout room discussion, I understand that some types of problems are more suited than others for this format. These problems are either debates where there is more than one view, or a challenge question where everyone works together to figure out a solution. Breakout rooms are great tools, but shouldn't be overused or used in wrong situations, or else they will turn out to be awkward messes. As for on-demand time, we have these lessons plans, and sometimes they can be helpful, but I believe that formula and format that we have currently isn't the best way to convey the information. Ideally, we would have a checklist with all the work that needs to be done for that week on one slide, and then go more in depth on the rest of the slides. It would also be ideal to have one slideshow where everything is concised and simplified for the purposes of glancing at it and then figuring out what needs to be done. Here in this example, we have the dates at the very top just to glance at it, make sure you're looking at the right week and not last week or maybe next week. And then we have something inspirational, maybe a quote, something funny, comedy, world news, or any important messages or other stuff that can be added just as a flair or two. Just keep people engaged in it a little bit more. And then we have the integrated projects and each of the tasks, and the other classes, English, World History, and Biochem, also their own tasks. But this is just a rough general overview with the title, and that's about it. On the next few slides, we have the classes at top with the colors that will match the beginning slide. And then we have the due dates at the very beginning in bold because that's really important. Then we have the task name and then a link to its assignment on Google Classroom if there is one. And then short instruction or set parts of the task, like at the bottom. And then an instructional video, that's also optional, but if there is an instructional video or something that explains the task, you can put it there. Useful links like websites or other useful links can be added there. And just to know, this format can be changed and vary each week and per teacher. But this is a format that I came up with that is similar to the ones from last year that we decided not to do, maybe because of district reasons or other, but I believe it was really helpful for many people because it definitely was helpful for me. And one thing to point out is this format has the slides in landscape form, which I believe to be more helpful and easier to look at compared to the portrait form, because in the portrait form you have to zoom in to look at the words, which sure, it's more like a to-do list in real life, but also it's harder to look at because you have to zoom in and scroll through, unlike the landscape, which you can just glance through and see everything. An idea I have that I believe will benefit the students a lot is incentivizing assignments and tasks that are done offline. Being online for a long time can be very draining on a person. I've experienced it, my friends have experienced it. It's just a general fact that if you spend most of your time online, it's bad for your mental health, your physical health, and just generally bad for you. And if we had dedicated assignments from school that involved making something by hand or going outside, it would greatly improve the mental and physical health of the students, and that is something that we aim for and hopefully achieve. Another thing is passion projects. Maybe it can be related or affected by quarantine lifestyle. Examples are art in quarantine, science of disease, or anything else. Anything we're passionate about. We can have a craftsmanship and communication grading standards. We could also choose one of our core classes and integrate the subject that we learned throughout projects. Example, if the project is about art, then the component could be the specific art style in analyzing it through a historical lens, or a medium could be studied through science, atoms, molecules, or mathematical formulas that create these types of art, golden ratio in paintings, or writing a report or story about art pieces. Collaboration could also be included via feedback groups and such, and it would also greatly improve our engagement since passion projects should be something we're passionate about, and if we're passionate about something, we're more likely to work on it and try hard for it. These ideas, I believe, will help avoid the mundane life that I and many others have been experiencing, doing homework every day and just overall draining and in a zombie state in some sort of way. And I believe passion projects and outside and on hand, which is something that we believe in project-based learning, should be somewhat included in the way that we're learning right now. These are just a few simple ideas that I believe we can incorporate into our distance learning, and it would also help with students that might be procrastinating or not engaged or just unmotivated overall just because of the way online learning can sometimes be. And if we implement some of these ideas, it could potentially help improve the student's experience and even the teacher's experience. This is just a pitch for an ideal distance learning.